Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Anthony Todd Show. Like always, we always do these weird, zany musical intros to start off each show. Sometimes they're like really abstract and stupid and inside-y, but this week we got a real treat for you. They're always performed by our good friend, our good pal, Trevor Abley over here. He's going to perform a classical hit here on the Anthony and Todd Show to start off the show with some just zany wonderment. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Okay.
I call this one, I was inspired by a YouTube video I saw recently. This one's called Talking Heads, sung by Kermit the Frog. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
You give me the beat?
I don't even know what the beat What?
You may find yourself living in a shotgun shack. You may find yourself in another part of the world. You may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. And you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife. And you may ask yourself, how did I get here? Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down into the blue again after the money's gone. Once in a lifetime. Thank you.
That was good. I'm proud of you for that one. I felt like Kermit the Frog was in the room.
He was. He missed him.
It was like that one time you did Bjork.
Bjork was in the room too.
Dude, I miss Bjork. She's such a nice lady. She has so many birds.
So nice.
So many birds.
Welcome everybody to the Anthony and Todd Show. I'm your host Trevor, aka Robert Quarantino, aka the Archbishop's New Groove, aka one time I saw a poster for a Bone Thugs and Harmony coming to a barn near me. True story, it's still up, and they performed like last June or something.
Where?
Cool Keith was there too.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. There was Bone Thugs and Harmony and Cool Keith. Why did we not go to that?
I don't know, because they were just like slips of computer paper stapled to a couple of telephone poles.
I think I DJ'd that. Or he was at least there, from what I remember. Or Big Buddy Ike.
I'm sure he was.
Rest in peace, maybe. He's probably dead.
I'm joined today by my ever-attentive co-host, my best friend, my pal, my amigo, Vincent, a.k.a. JID sounds like Missy Elliott, a.k.a. The Road to Keenan and Kel Dorado, a.k.a. Permanently Rice.
Permanently Rice?
Yes. Mean, not evil. This is episode 31 of the Anthony and Todd Show. Today's episode is entitled...
Oh, I have to do it?
Yeah.
Why is David Byrne always singing about houses?
That's what I want to know.
He only has a song about a house, and everyone's coming to his house.
He's got a bunch. With Talking Heads, Burning Down the House, Houses in Motion, Everybody's Coming to My House.
Maybe he just likes houses.
You may find yourself living in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife.
Okay, I see your point. Maybe he just sings about what he knows. He knows houses.
I guess so.
Do you know houses?
No.
Do you have a house?
I think David Byrne's an architect. He must be. We got a great show planned for you guys today. We're going to review 5 projects. We're going to get real moody. We're going to play some acoustic guitars. And we're going to dive into Mount Eerie's Now Only.
We're going to sing about our dead wife.
We're going to meet and you, your mama and Bishop Meru on Elevators Act 1 and 2. Then we're going to go back to architecture school with David Byrne for American Utopia. We're going to get in some water and swim around a little bit and go to the Bank of America. Lil Yachty's Little Boat 2. And we're going to the... probably the worst aged album of 2018. It did not age well.
It's only 2 weeks and it's aged
so
terribly.
Bad. Logic's Bobby Tarantino 2.
It's not even an album, it's a mixtape.
It's whatever. We're also going to continue our Kanye quest with Kanye's Late Registration, his second studio album. It's right here. The bear is still here.
The bear, you can't see it.
He's trying to go back to school, but they're just not having it.
He signed up too late for classes.
Threw him out.
Too late for these classes. Can't sign up.
All right, you ready to get into this, baby?
Yeah, we're starting off from Mount Eerie, right?
Of course, we're gonna climb the mountain.
Dude, I don't want to climb this mountain because it's really sad. It makes me sad. This mountain makes me sad.
Here we go.
Okay. Go Boyo.
Okay. Mount Eerie is a indie rock band of I don't know what you'd call them genre-wise.
Indie rock band.
Okay.
Folk band.
Basically. And it's
pretty much run by Phil Elverum.
Yeah, pretty much run by Phil Elverum.
Pretty much a solo project with.
It's kind of his own. It's kind of his own project. But they're most well known for their album that came out last year. A Crow Looked at Me, and it was basically written about to deal with the grief involving the death of Elverum's wife.
Who passed away like not too long before the album came out.
Yeah, well, I mean that makes sense. The album's about her.
Yeah, no.
But like the whole album of A Crow Looked at Me was Phil's grieving process, and it's not really meant to be listened to. Just kind of taking songs out of context. It probably shouldn't have had singles. It did anyway.
I think Real Death can be a single. I think nothing else in the album could be a single. I think some of the tracks on Now Only could be singles, but
basically, it's just like not super musical or like layered very well, and it's really just a stream of thought of Phil's kind of grieving process.
I saw it more as a man who just lost his wife and is kind of put in this area of isolation, and him trying to figure out the world around him and how it makes sense, and kind of dealing with this huge subject that he just crossed of his wife's passing, and him trying to just figure everything out. And that we both liked the album. I really liked it. It was one of my favorite albums last year. It was on your list as well.
I appreciate what it is.
I know your main complaint about it was it wasn't musically diverse. Something I felt like it fed really well into the fact that it wasn't musically diverse, because then you get this feel of isolation. You get the feel that it's only Phil just kind of working with himself and trying to figure out everything as he goes along. But I can understand your point of it does seem really moany. It does seem really just like he's covering around the same subjects, which makes sense for like something of this caliber to be talking about. But again, it's just a lot of just slow guitar songs. There's not that many drums. There are many other instruments, and it's just slowly placed. It's not really catchy or anything like that. It's not catchy. It's very sad. It's very hard to listen to. It was probably one of the most hard things to listen to last year because it's just so sad. It's so depressing. But I love this. I love that record. I think that record is so beautiful for being so heartbreaking. And I think it's almost like a once-in-a-lifetime album in a sense, because you just have this like very touchy subject as someone goes through it. I think it worked. I think the album worked really well, and I was excited to hear this new project by Mount Eerie so soon after A Crow Looked at Me, about a year after A Crow Looked at Me. So I was interested to see what the album... I didn't listen to any of the singles beforehand. I wanted to be... Once I found out this album's coming out, didn't want to spoil myself. Just wanted to get into it. I wanted to just feel how everything flowed well as a project, because if I would have listened to the singles last year, I don't think I would enjoy the album as much, because I think it just works well as just a cohesive piece. And listening to this project, I think it is essentially Crow Looked at Me Part 2, but Phil Elverum's back in society. He's back in the world. He's still trying to figure shit out. But I feel like at times it crosses a bit too much of the same ground as the last project.
Yes.
And it seems like it's just he's talking too much about the same thing. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing narratively, but it's a good thing in terms of Phil getting through some shit. Like, as a grieving mechanism, good. But as a work of art, in times. Because I don't think a majority of this album is super, like, covering the same ground. Because I think we do get moments like Now Only where he talks about going outside in the world, talking to Wise Blood and Father John Misty, or I think South by Southwest, or I think it was some event.
I think so, yeah.
Where we see him interacting with the world, and we see some moments outside where it isn't just him being alone. We do get some past memories whether it is this like pregnancy scare that he has on the track Distortion, or whether it's him and his wife's relationship on Tintin in Tibet. We do get see some things that are outside this house. Like, even though they're like old stories, and they may involve his wife in some, and some may not, but like it's nice to see him just outside the house in these stories, or outside his own head. Even they're memories, so they're inside his head, but just outside that realm. I think it's nice.
Well, he's like wrapped up in his head on A Crow Looked at Me. Like, when somebody dies, that's all you can do. When somebody close to you dies, I should say, that's all you can do is stay wrapped up in your own head. Like, there's, it's really hard to get out of that. It's really hard to get out of that kind of rut that you start to live in. But I think I appreciate now only even more than I appreciate A Crow Looked at Me, because I see more of the after effect of that death. Like, after the funeral, after the burial, or whatever she chose to do, how is Phil Elverum and his daughter living? What is he doing? And I've read some notes about it, and it talks about how it's kind of maintaining a household with like a young child, trying to work to preserve his wife's like legacy, but also this like past album, A Crow Looked at Me, really put Mount Eerie on the map. And so he was obviously like garnishing a lot of praise and critical acclaim from his past album. I think now only kind of deals with some of that too.
Yeah, it's like one of his most popular albums is the one where it's the most sad, it's the most personal, it's the most touchy for him personally. I like the line, I think he said on Distortion, or maybe it was Now Only, where he's talking about how he wrote these deaf songs. Now he has to go out and perform these deaf songs for a bunch of kids or a bunch of teenagers who are on drugs. Like, I think that's just like, it shows that like these songs are heartbreaking, and he still kind of has to live with it. I think this album's great to show like the grieving process of it never stops. It continues. Like, it's an infinite thing almost. You still have to live with yourself afterwards. And I think it's good because we haven't really got musically something like that. I don't think, like, I'm trying to think of an example, but like, we get like deaf songs and we hear songs about people dying, but we never really see like the long-term aftermath of it, is how they handle themselves on a daily basis, knowing this person's gone and knowing they're trying to get the fuck over it. I don't know, I said it like that, but they're trying to get over it. And they know they may be lingering on it too much, but he's trying to get over it. And I think even some of his like ramblings that may grow a little too close to A Crow Looked at Me, I feel at times they're self-aware that they're growing too close to A Crow Looked at Me. I think it's on the track, here? No, what is it? Earth. I think it's on the track Earth. He makes reference to just kind of like he doesn't want to live this way. He hates feeling this way. He's trying to stop living this way. I think he's self-aware that he knows that he's covering a lot of the same ground over and over again. But again, it's this album is another mourning tool for Phil. And he keeps on covering the same ground, but I feel like there's also, at the same time, I think it works. Not always. I think if it covered any more of the same ground, I think it wouldn't work. But I think in this amount, it's fine. I think this album is good. I think it changes its flow up a little bit more than the last project. A little bit more tempo-wise, instrumentally-wise. Tracks like Distortion, which start off this really loud, distorted guitar. Tracks like Now Only, which are a little bit shorter, not as ramblier. They do have some hooks to it. Same thing with Earth. There's still a lot of just guitars on here. Just playing guitar music, nothing too... just very simple folk. But there's still a lot of simple folk, but it does take a few more instrumental shake-ups throughout the entire project. This entire project's longer than A Crow Looked at Me, and it's only 6 tracks. It's 40 minutes, 6 tracks. There's some long songs on here.
Oh, for sure.
But this thing that... what this album reminded me of is Sun Killed Moon's last project. what is it? Common as Light and Red or Valleys of Blood. I always forget the second half of the fucking album. It's so fucking long. But it reminded me of that because that was like a musical diary for Mark Kozlek. And he didn't really have any purpose for it, but it was just kind of these like internal ramblings and him just spouting off shit, really reverse and very long shit, like 15-minute tracks, just kind of just scrolling out his mind and whatever came into it. But at the same time, it was a lot of fun, personally, for me. This album reminds me of it a lot, just because Phil's just kind of like just thinking of random shit and just saying it.
It's an audio diary.
Yeah, but this isn't like, I would say, as much as an audio diary as that one, because that one was just pure audio diary, like it happened in chronological order. This one is more of...
They're like individual entries that are put into a more logical order on the album.
Yeah. I appreciate it for that. I think, in the end, is this better than The Crow Looked at Me? For me personally, no, because I don't think it's bad by any means. And I still like this album a lot. I think it's just A Crow Looked at Me is just like the most raw emotion that I ever heard on an album. For this, not to say the raw emotion is there, but it's just not as punchy because time has passed. Some wounds have healed or are beginning to heal or eventually will heal. So it isn't as punchy, and that's nothing you can change. There's nothing you can do about it because that's just like an event in your life that you have to move past. But like, I think just the potency of that is really good, and I think that this follows up regardless of what it was going to be. It wasn't going to be as solid, or it wasn't going to be as emotionally punchy in comparison. And with this new project now only, I think it makes up for the lack of emotional punchiness by being less, I would say more narratively pleasing, if that makes sense. Because I think a lot of the stories he tells on this project are way more interesting than a lot of stories he told at A Crow Looked at Me. I think because A Crow Looked at Me, it was a lot of the same, if that makes sense. Just because like they all not a lot of the same, but it's like you know what you're getting into each track. Each track was gonna like go back to Phil Elverum's wife's death at some point, and it was gonna be like how he handled that. With this, it's just like we may take a 5-minute dip here to some random place that just may be only about Phil, and it may come back to his wife's death, but not always. Like, it eventually comes back to at some point, but like there's unexpected turns, and that's what I like about this the most. Because it isn't always just like the same thing over and over again. There are some things that cover the same ground as Crow Looked at Me, but narratively it doesn't operate in the same way. If that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Do you like this more than Crow Looked at Me?
Yes.
You do?
I do, personally.
Okay.
I just, maybe it's the part of me that likes like happy endings, or maybe it's the part of me that likes
just see
like
him
good
doing
storytelling.
Yeah.
But like I like to see that Phil Elverum is doing better, and I think he's still a very somber person. I think he's still got a lot of stuff to get over, and he's still dealing with it, and I think he's going to be dealing with it for the rest of his life. That's always going to be something on his mind, in the back of his mind. But he's beginning to move on with his life after the death, and I think that is probably the most important thing of all to take away from his story. A Crow Looked at Me, I felt like was retreading a lot of the same ground because, like you said, it always led back to his death, or her death, but that's all you can think of.
Yeah.
That's all you can think of is why me? How did this happen? Why did it happen? Why was she taken from me so soon?
I'm not saying that's like a bad thing.
No,
I'm just
it's
saying
not.
Like that's a common
but like that's just your train of thought. You cannot change that. But I really enjoyed like Tintin in Tibet.
Yeah.
That's my favorite track on here, personally. Just because like I like the little story he's telling about like the fond memories he has with his wife. I think it's really interesting, and just,
they're not
it's not a fun listen, but it's like I like listening to people's stories like that.
I wouldn't say it's like sad either, because it is a happy memory.
Yeah,
like,
it's very much so a happy memory.
It's a sad memory in this context, but at one time it was a very happy memory.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just like he veers away a lot from the whole death aspect and goes on to life after the death.
Biggie Smalls.
What?
Biggie Smalls.
Yes. But it's, I don't know. It's just very...
Yeah.
I think it's more of a surreal listen than A Crow Looked at Me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's more lyrically interesting, even, and storytelling-wise more interesting. Do I always like the execution of it? Not particularly. I'm not the biggest fan of this musical style.
You hate you some slow folk.
I don't, but it's...
You don't?
No, but like, sometimes I feel like it's just like the same couple notes over and over.
Well, that's slow folk.
And he... I don't know. I don't care that there's not a chorus. I don't care that he... Like, we never retread the same ground, I guess, in a story.
Yeah.
Because that's how storytelling works. But, I don't know. Sometimes I wish there was like something musically different.
So, like, in the end, I think... I do think this is, like, a decent, like, follow-up piece to Crow Looked at Me.
No, for sure.
I like that Phil's doing better. He's still not, like, over the issue, but, like, how can you get over that issue?
Oh, it's...
Yeah. But it's good to see him do better. It's nice to see that he's doing better. And, like, I still wish the best for him and his daughter. I hope they're doing well. And I hope they continue to do well into the future, because I think Phil seems like a nice guy. And I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I don't want anything bad to happen.
Protect Phil at all costs.
Protect Phil. I think, in conclusion, some ground is retreaded, but it's not a lot. Like, it's not super worrisome. I think as Mount Eerie albums go on, if we still cover this ground, I'm gonna have to rate it a little bit differently, because right now I think there's a reason why Phil should be talking about this. But if we're getting another album next year and an album in 2 years and we're still covering these same points again, I think you said it earlier, when we were talking off camera, that this is like this is the first warning or something like that. Where if you continue,
this is his first warning. I said that as soon as I got out of the car.
Where if you continue to retread some of this ground, I think it comes to the point where it's just like you're telling the same narrative over and over again, or you're using it as a narrative piece or a plot. What is it?
He's kind of milking it. We don't want. I hate to use that terminology, but that's kind of what it would end up being. There has to come a point where you would have to kind of reconverge into society.
I see it more as doing it to like a plot escape, or a plot to fix plot holes or something, or just a narrative tool. And I don't think you should use that as a narrative tool. But this is like, for this project, I think it works fine. It's I feel like sometimes we cover some of the ground, but for this project, I'm okay with it. But if it continues on, I think I'll be a little bit more harsher on that. But other things, I like how it flows better. It's like we get more not out of body, but we get more out of Phil's head, or we're still in Phil's head, but we could just get more into the world. I would say Phil into the world. We get him interacting with some other things besides just like,
and that's good.
Being in his house.
That's healthy.
That's healthy. Like, that's what I wanted from this project. I think we could have seen that a little bit more, but other than that, I think it's fine. I hope in later projects we see Phil get out of his head even more. I think that would be nice. And I think lyrically it's still emotionally raw. It's not as punchy as the last album, but it couldn't have been. Like, the last album was just so poignant and such such a fresh wound that like you couldn't even follow it up. Like, it's like impossible to, because the raw emotion that you experience after like that, like after something so devastating like that, I think like in your songwriting and in your performance, like, you're never going to be able to sing like that again or experience that emotion ever again. But overall, I really like this record still. I think it's not as good as A Crow Looked at Me, but overall, I do like it a lot. I think it's a good follow-up. I think it's a good companion piece. A year later, how is he doing? How's everything holding up? But yeah, I like it. Overall, feeling an 8.75 out of 10. I like it a lot. Just a lot of good moments. I like Tintin in Tibet. I like Distortion. Like Now Only. Like Earth. Yeah. I would like to hear more from Mount Eerie in the future. I hope he continues doing well. I just want him to continue doing well. I want everyone to continue doing well.
I struggle with a rating on this, the same way that I did with Mount Eerie, because I honestly would I prefer to listen to something else? Honestly, yeah, I think so. But what it stands for, I think, means so much more than what it actually is musically. And so that's where I kind of come into a bit of a sticky situation here, because I don't really know how to rate it because of that. In the end, I think I'm going to have to give it a 7.75.
Okay. So is that it for this mountain? Did we finally climb Mount Eerie?
We have climbed Mount Eerie.
Now are we gonna jump off?
No, that's...
Are we ski down?
Yes. We're gonna tube down.
Okay, that sounds
on
fun.
A trash can lid.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're gonna die.
Yes.
Mount Eerie's just...
Now the next album will be about us.
Sliding down a trash can.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we doing next? What's next?
Alright, next we actually got a viewer question last minute.
We
got Alex Marco posted
Your boy!
Yeah, the boy is back.
The boy's back!
He posted a hot take on our Facebook page. He said... It was written as a statement, too, so I turned it into a question. Is Jenny Death the best Death Grips album by far?
Okay,
and then the options were yeah or nah.
I told you to say nah. Okay, personally...
I'll let you feel this.
Because you don't listen to Death Grips, because you're a nerd and a bitch.
I think it might be the other way around.
Best Death Grips album. Okay, Jenny Death's part of the Powers That Be. It's the second half.
Yes.
Okay, so... I like Jenny Death. I like the guitars.
She's a nice girl.
Yeah, she's really nice. I really appreciate her. I like Jenny Death. I like the Powers That Be as a whole. Like, I don't see Jenny Death and Bad Word on the Moon to be two separate projects. I see them to be a whole, like, a continuous project. They have separate concepts. Like, Jenny Death has more basses, guitars, a lot more live instruments, while Bad Word on the Moon just has Bjork just being put in these weird scenarios throughout. They just, like, put Bjork in a blender and then just play the sounds off of that. But I think as a whole they complement each other because they're both, like, the hardest to, like, grasp Death Grip album. Like, they're the two hardest projects to listen to, but I view them as one. I think Powers That Be as a collective is just... It's one of my personal favorites, but the Powers That Be is just a cohesive piece, and I like viewing it as that, and I don't like viewing them as two separate projects. I would honestly say I like Bad Words on the Moon more than Jenny Death, personally, just because I like how Bjork sampled through it, and I feel like it's really hypnotic and strange. But I think On GP, off of Jenny Death, is one of Death Grip's best songs. I do like Powers to Be as a whole, but I think Bottomless Pit, my personal favorite, because it took what they did on the Money Store and just, like, perfected it. Like, I hate to say that. Like, I know some people are going to view me crazy because they always view Money Store as the best Death Grip record, but I think Bottomless Pit is just so goddamn catchy. It's so, like, just, like, furious, but at the same time being so goddamn catchy and just so easy to, like, sing along to, and just, like, so easy to scream along to, more like it. But I think it's just so much fun, and I think it covers a lot of the same ground as the Money Store, but it just does it better, personally. I don't know. I just like the Bottomless Pit. Bottomless Pit's my favorite, personally. But Powers That Be is probably, like, my second favorite. I like that one a lot as well. I think of the two, Bad Words on the Moon's my favorite of that bunch. I still like Jenny Death, though. I like Jenny Death a lot. So that's what I think on that subject.
Okay, there you go, Alex.
There
Marco.
you go, boy.
I hope that you liked that answer, I guess. Are you ready to jump into a new project?
We're gonna jump in the boat.
We're gonna go swimming.
We're gonna go swimming.
Part of the sailing club.
She said she wanna be my wife, yeah. She's gonna make me instant rice, yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dude.
Yeah. All right. Lil Boat 2 is a new mixtape by Lil Yachty, former SoundCloud rapper and Double XL freshman. He's had 2 mixtapes under his belt. This is the follow-up to Lil Boat.
No, he's had Little Boat, and then wasn't Teenage Emotion studio album?
That was but he also had Summer Songs.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Summer Songs 2 was a mixtape. And then he had a debut studio album last year, Teenage Emotions, met to a lot of negative reception. I'm sorry, Yachty.
Honestly, my honest opinion on Teenage Emotion. Okay, Little Body as an artist, one of the most colorful people in hip hop, hands down. He's like,
oh, for sure. Look at his teeth.
Yeah, he's. I think we described him before as 2018's version of the Clown King, Biz Markie. Is that what Biz Markie goes
Clown
by?
Prince of Hip Hop.
Clown Prince of Hip Hop. That's what he calls. But he's literally 2018's version of Biz Markie. In a sense, just a goofy hip hop figure, and we personally like Lil Yachty as an artist. We don't think all the music he makes is good, but we do appreciate him.
He's not overcrowding the market, that's for sure.
Yeah, we like him more than artists like Migos, Lil Uzi Vert, 21 Savage, Lil Pump. We like Lil Pump too.
I like you, Lil Pump.
We like you. But we like him more than a lot of these SoundCloud rappers that keep showing up, and we think out of a bunch of these SoundCloud rappers, Lil Yachty is probably one of the best. He is goofy. He's completely stupid, but we appreciate it. It is a different color of hip-hop. It's a more playful, more fun hip-hop, and that's why, personally, we both enjoyed Little Boat, the original Little Boat.
The original Lil Boat, I think, was just such a game changer, especially coming out in times where, like, a lot of SoundCloud rappers were releasing, like, really hard-sounding mixtapes, hard-sounding first projects, like, where they just wanted to kind of up their street creds and talk about more serious topics, and Lil Boat came out, and it was literally just Lil Yachty, like, singing about nothing. There was a lot of like singing and a lot of like auto-tuned vocal work done on that, as well as rapping, and I think that made it a true like stand out from the crowd then.
But you think of the production of that album, all the dumb synths, all the dumb samples, all the dumb keys that are on that project. You think of tracks of Minnesota, cold like Minnesota, One Night with its dumb, just
it's two
lovable,
chords.
catchy autotune, stupid keys on that track.
It's so
and then
fun.
You think Good Day, because I'm rich, and I might grab me a big booty bitch. It's so stupid. Like, it's so much fun. It's a different color of hip hop. It's really playful. You go into Summer Songs 2, not as playful, not as a unique personality. You go into Teenage Emotion. I feel like there's some tracks where personality shows up. What is it? Trying to remember that track.
Peekaboo.
No, Peekaboo is like one of the worst examples of that. But there's some shades of Yachty's character on this album. I think one of the moments that like defines that sound is Forever Young with Diplo. I really don't care for Diplo, but I think Yachty's personality is able to shine through over this more playful beat. I think the track Bring It Back, that's what it is. I need to bring it back. It's so stupid. It's a terrible track. Don't get me wrong. It is a goddamn terrible track. But Yachty's character shines through and it makes it more enjoyable. Like if any other artist did that, it would be trash. But like Yachty makes it enjoyable. It's completely garbage. Like I know it's bad. Just let me have this one. I do like that track for just how much of just a dumb mess it is. Moving on to Little Boat 2. Little Boat 2.
I think we should give some background information here. Okay, so Vincent and I were talking about Lil Boat 2. being different, and we had a theory of Lil Yachty is kind of moving away from his Lil Yachty persona and more into the Lil Boat kind of realm. What the difference is, I don't really know. It's just a more generalized form of a watercraft versus a yacht versus a boat. Like, it's just less specific. But if you notice, a lot of the song titles are in all caps, save for She Ready with P&B Rock. In our opinion, one of the best tracks on this house. So catchy. And Love Me Forever. Everything else is in caps. And I was reading about it, and it said that those two tracks in lowercase were more kind of like sing-songy type songs that like Lil Yachty would perform versus some of these new songs. And I read on the Genius page when Yachty first started his career, he was like very melodic and sang a lot and used a lot of autotune. Yeah. And that kind of got him into the game. It got him like more recognition. But before that, obviously, he was rapping as well as singing. Basically, like Teenage Emotions was a lot of singing. Unfortunately, it wasn't that good. Yeah. And Yachty like didn't really like the reception given from Teenage Emotions, so he kind of took a different approach on his new mixtape, which like I have to completely laud him for. Like not a lot of artists would make such a huge change like that, especially when their career is kind of hanging in the balance here. You know, he's just taking off as far as new artists go, you know? He's not really super well established. And he went and just changed his entire style, especially on a follow-up of something that was very melodic and very fun and punchy production. It's just a completely different sound. This is Yachty with Migos production.
Literally, yeah, okay, so the way I described to Trevor when I first listened to this album and I met Trevor the next day, literally how I described this project was, this is if Yachty took Culture 2 and made it better. Is it good? Personally, by my taste, this is not a good record. It's a letdown for comparing it to Little Boat 1, not good. It's like I much prefer Yachty when he's singing than it's rapping. I like the fine line in between. I like both Yachty singing and rapping, but I think there needs to be a lot more Yachty singing on this project. I don't really care for this Little Boat persona as much as I did on Little Boat 1. I don't really care for the overall sound of this album. I think Lil Yachty, for one, the production just bores me. Again, it sounds like Migos production. You guys know how we feel about Migos. You just need to stop. Like, just stop them.
Hashtag stop Migos 2K.
They need to, like, stop making music for a year because they're literally oversaturating the market with the sound, and I'm sick of it. Like, I just hate this basic-ass trap sound.
I'm out.
Like, I'm just sick of this style of trap music. Like, it needed to stop. Like, I'm just bored with it. Because you got people like Travis Scott are using it now. Migos is using it. Every fucking SoundCloud rapper is using it. Fucking everyone's using this basic-ass trap sound. And that's what made Little Boat so much fun, is that you had these dumbass synths. That you had...
It was an escape from that.
Yeah. Whereas tracks that I liked off Teenage Emotion, I'm not saying it's good, because I think Yachty's character kind of was too much on that project at times. And... not enough on certain moments. It was like this weird...
It was just very unbalanced.
Whereas, like, this is just too much of Little Boat. So just too rough. It's too Atlanta hip-hop. It's too generic for my taste. Personally, I do not care for it. I feel like a lot of hip-hop heads would love this record. I think this was what they would think the best Lil Yachty record would sound like. Because I know a lot of people didn't fuck with Little Boat 1. I fuck with Little Boat 1.
Little Boat 1 was great.
It's just like, there's no, like, moment that even comes fucking close to, like, beating Minnesota of, like, the perfect mix of just, like, just goofiness, but at the same time, like, that Atlanta hip-hop style. There's no moment that comes even close to One Night just being a complete, like, dumbass track. There's no moment that comes close to just Good Day.
They're just not memorable.
It's just like the only memorable moment on this project is She's Ready. But I think overall the best part about this project is Yachty. I don't think any of the production's worthwhile. I think any of the features besides maybe PNB Rock, and I do like Little Pump on this. I think Little Pump,
he's funny.
Little Pump's fun. I think, in all honesty, 2 Chainz is fun. It's not his best feature I've heard from him in a while, because he has some pretty good features on people's projects.
Yeah.
Little Pump, not King's Dead, X on Black Panther soundtrack.
Yeah.
But like, I like some of the features. Some of these features I do not fuck with. Again, any one of the fucking Migos, just like, stop making music for a year, take a break, just like go away, go on a vacation, eat some pizza rolls, work out, do anything else, go play for
Get your eyes checked.
Go play for the NBA.
Play for the XFL. Dude, Quavo, you could get signed easy.
To the XFL. Vince McMahon would have your ass in a second. You'd be a quarterback. But yeah, this project, I don't fuck with it. Like, in the end, I think it's too generic. It just doesn't do it for me.
It's very much so too generic.
What I was hoping for is I wanted more fun. Like, I just want to have fun hip-hop. I'm sick of just listening to these really tiresome, really lame, really machismo, really just boring hip-hop. Just really braggadocio, like with Amigos, like with Eminem. I'm just sick of
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. But Jay-Z actually had good production behind him at times.
That's true.
And he had stuff to say at times. Even though we don't believe in his persona. But, like, he did have stuff to say. This is just, like, Yachty really doesn't have anything to say. But I feel like his performances are the best part. I think his rapping is overall improved on this project.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's just not what I want to hear from him. I think best moments, Oops with 2 Chainz. She Ready.
For sure.
With PNB Rock.
I also liked NBA Youngboat with what?
That's just such a dumb name.
It's dumb, but like I think it's some of the catchier production on here. I'm not saying that NBA Youngboy was like good, because he's not. He also wrote like the poor man's story of OJ on here. If you listen to his first verse,
yeah.
But like, I don't know. That's like if I have to base like the best tracks on any sort of creative production, and that's what's winning out, then that's kind of sad. Count Me In, I think, is genuinely good. Oops, I think is genuinely good. She Ready, I think, is super fun, and probably the most fun moment on the track. I didn't like it at first, but it really grew on me. And then NBA Youngboat, like, that's really that's the highest points of the album.
I'm fine with Baby Daddy until it gets to Offset.
Oh yeah, I think Lil Pump is fun.
Where's the fucking Lil Pump, Lil Yachty collaboration?
I think it'll be out later this year.
That's honestly no, because we're gonna get that fucking Migos, Gucci Mane, and Yachty. Remember, they're supposed to get a collaboration too. Migos just needs to stop. Just stop them. I think you and me are gonna have to make a Migos trap. Just like get an apartment. Like, what do Migos like? Lean, and
probably like
some apple pies and some weed. We're just gonna put it in an apartment, open the door.
They like fried things.
Fried crocodile.
Yeah.
Any southern
alligator bites.
Southern comfort food. We put that in to a room, and then like we just lock them in there for a year. We feed them. We don't want to like torture.
Biscuits and gravy every day.
Yeah, we don't want to torture these guys. We just don't want them to make music. We want them to take a vacation for a year, at least. Just like
if we lock them up, then they'll release like a super project with all the songs that they wrote within the 15-minute periods of being locked away.
Jesus, like, it's just that they're oversaturating the market. I hate that we have to, every time they fucking show up.
This isn't about Migos. This is about Yachty.
I think
Yachty, I think, lost his way, seriously.
And what's bad about this is, I think it's in this weird domain where it's like, it's okay. Like, Yachty's lyricism, it's not bad.
No,
but it's not
goofy.
It's not dumb. Like, we don't get into Little Pump territory on this project. Which if Little Boat was more like Little Pump, Like, this would be a completely different story. Like, I feel like you can turn the Little Boat character into something really zany and stupid. Like Little Pump, and something super really catchy, but, like, this persona isn't catchy. Like, I feel like if there was... I don't know, but, like, I feel like if there was some better hooks on this project, like there was on Little Pump, and some of these tracks were shorter... I feel like it would plan out to be a little record. Because you and me liked Little Pump. It was completely stupid.
It was horrible, but it was great.
It was fun. This is not fun until, like, She Ready, Oops is fun. But, like, a majority of this is just kind of lame. And I hate that I have to say that because I think Yachty seems like a nice chap.
All I can say is if Yachty has lost his way somewhere along, like, the rap game...
Yeah.
Timeline, then, like, who will come save us? Is Lil Pump our only hope anymore? And I mean this in all seriousness, because you look at, like, his freshman class. If you look at, like, Yachty's freshman class, who all was in that? Like, Designer, 21 Savage, Kodak Black,
Denzel Curry.
Denzel Curry's good. Lil Uzi Vert. Like, these guys are taking themselves way too seriously in the music that they make, and think that they're, like, way harder than they actually are.
Yeah.
Yachty won by, like, a fan vote, so obviously they thought he was fun, they thought he was different, but, like, if he's starting to trade out, like, what made him so great and so fun in the first place for, like, a generic trap sound and kind of going for, like, a harder personality,
yeah,
then, like, I think we've seriously suffered a real casualty in that fight against, like, generic rap.
And, like, the fact that we need a Little Pump, which I hate
Little
saying.
Pump is our only hope.
Just, like, we just need stupid. That's what we just need. Dumb.
We need something. We need different is what we need. Even if Death Grips went mainstream, then, like, that would be different. I think that would be another fighting force. Because right now, all we have is, like...
I feel like... I'm not worried about it, but, like, in this pop rap scene, or this like, trap scene that Yachty's in, he's the most colorful character. But, like, in the pop trap, I'm gonna call it that, popular trap music scene, I feel like he was one of the only examples. I feel like Little Pump could save us from that. But I don't know. I feel like I hope like Yachty improves. I hope we get some more Little Pump. That's fun. Like I hope we just get to the point where like trap can just be dumb fun. That's what I want. Like I don't think trap should take itself seriously unless you're like a very talented artist. Like I don't know if I would really consider Denzel Curry trap. I don't know, but I feel like he's a force in that scene that can take himself serious because he can back it up. Kodak Black should not take himself seriously ever, because he cannot rap. But and I don't think 21 Savage should take himself seriously. Like I don't think any of these artists that were being presented, like I don't think we should get to the point where Lil Uzi Vert is taking himself seriously. Like I think any of these rappers, especially in that class, should take himself seriously besides Denzel. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear like this style trap music continue on because I feel like it's just shit. It's just bad. Culture 2, personally, it sucked. It was terrible. It was my least favorite record of this year by far.
That is my worst rated.
It's so long, it's so boring, and we just keep on getting this popular trap music sound, and I'm just sick of it. Like I don't understand how people listen to this. Like this album's not good, and I hate saying that because I like Yachty as a person. And there's moments on here I like. Oops, she's ready. Like I think that shows the potential where Yachty can go if he didn't take himself so seriously. And I feel like on this project he's just trying to be more mainstream, which I feel like people will like more, but it does not work for me personally.
No, I don't like it. As a fan of the original Lil Boat, this is just sorely disappointing.
Yeah. Do not care for this project. I will listen to She's Ready and Oops because I do like those two tracks. I want to see a Little Pump Modigliani collaboration. I would love to see actually a Gucci Mane Modigliani collaboration. Just those two. Migos get involved. Get the fuck out. Just don't do it because Migos need to stop.
Don't play the game, fellas.
Because I'm just sick of them. But overall, I'm gonna give this 4.5 out of 10.
Oh, I also gave it a 4.5 out of 10.
Because it's just like
compared to other things we've listened to so far this year. Looking at you, Migos, Justin Timberlake, Travis Scott and Quavo, Camila Cabello. This is definitely better. Definitely listen to Lil Boat 2 over those. I might even listen to Lil Boat 2 over something like Black Milk or Porches or something, but I feel like I can't give it over that because it is what it is.
Boring. It's just not character filled. There's no sense of character. The production sucks. It's just generic trap music. Yachty is the best part of it, but like his personality can't save like a lot of these tracks.
No.
He's become a better rapper, but like this is
he's definitely honing his skill, that's important too.
Which is one of the problems I felt like I have with Teenage Emotion, because like you listen to fucking what is it, Peekaboo, where he calls a bassoon like a string instrument or something like that.
No, he calls a cello a instrument, or a woodwind instrument.
Yeah, and like you need to stop, my dude. And like he stopped, my dude. He like honed his skill a bit, and it's nice. But
he got educated.
He went to a GE. He got his GED. He's going to community college. He took a music education class.
I'm proud of him.
He learned his musical instruments, and no, he took a music appreciation class. That's what he did, and I'm proud of him. This is a better improvement to Teenage Motion, but it's not the yachty I want to hear. Personally, I'm kind of let down by it. Okay, you ready to move on?
Oh, you know what time it is.
Okay, is it time for the Kanye quest?
It is time for the Kanye quest. Yes. Okay,
do we need a board to roll these dice?
You're gonna have to roll the dice.
No, dude. Do I need a board? I need that board. Can you grab me that record? Our D&D board.
Our D&D board. Okay, so we're gonna have to keep in mind again. I have no idea how to play D&D. I don't know how any combat system works. The extent of my D&D knowledge goes to I listen to the Adventure Zone every week, so I'm catching up on that. We're gonna see what happens. You know, okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So do you remember where you last left off?
I was at some university.
Okay, Skyvale University. Claudio just he saved you from dying on the mountains.
So me and Kanye are there.
Yes.
My name is Father Stretch, my Big Trev the Refrigerator Kid, Part 2.
Yes. Okay, so you wake up after a long night's sleep. The sunlight comes through your window and wakes you up. And so you groan and kind of slide out of bed, and Kanye is nowhere to be found. So you just kind of shrug it off, whatever. Put on your clothes, you walk out of your room, and Claudia last night actually gave you a small schedule of your classes for the day, and so you're gonna have to try to follow it. So you kind of walk down the hallway, find your way into this classroom, just a huge classroom. It's full of a ton of other like different races. There's like humans, dwarves, elves, cloud people. Everybody kind of seems to be welcome there. So you sit down in the front row, like a huge nerd, and you're getting ready to learn some sort of like economics course, I don't know. And this is like just giant burly dude sits down next to you, okay? Like just a huge like cloud man.
Oh. All
right, he's got like a big old beard, right? Like made of clouds, and his head's kind of like trailing off like little clouds. It's really gray. Like he looks like he is ready to blow at any second, like electric charge. And professor, comes up to the front of the class, tells everybody shut up. We're gonna start learning about economic theory. And you accidentally bump into his water bottle, and it spills on the desk. And this guy is just not having it. He's pissed. And he just looks you dead in the eyes, and he said, "I can't believe you've done this." And what do you say to him?
Sorry. Did not mean it.
Dude, sorry's not gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it.
You bitch.
All right, so
Damn right, I fucking knocked your water over. You old bitch.
So you were obviously ready to fight.
Yeah.
All right, you left your sword in your room, so I don't know what you're gonna do. You did not grab your sword when you woke up this morning.
You're setting me up for failure.
You didn't grab your sword. You don't have it. So this guy stands up. He just flips his desk. So, of course, the water that was spilled is now all over the floor. The professor is still talking about economic theory, and this dwarf from the back just yells, "Fight, fight, fight." This guy is ready to fight. What are you going to do?
I don't know. How do you fight a cloud person?
You gotta figure it out. What are you gonna do?
Because I imagine it would just be like SpongeBob, where if you punched him, he would just absorb it. But I imagine if he punched me, it wouldn't do anything because he's made of clouds. I
just said he had a gigantic electric charge.
Oh, I would just put a suit of rubber on.
Where are you gonna get that?
I don't know. I would. I think the smart thing to do here would be to... How do you fight a cloud person? I think I would have to... I have no fucking idea. I would just have to punch him and just hope I don't die. Or no, I would run away.
You're gonna run away?
Yeah.
Where are you running to?
Anywhere but here.
Okay, so you take off down the hallway and you hear these thunderous footsteps behind you. And it's the cloud dude. He's just charging after you. He is raging. But I mean, you don't have many places to run. What are you gonna do?
Look for Kanye.
Where?
The gym.
You have no idea. You don't know the layout of the
Just gonna run. Keep on running.
Keep on running where?
I don't know.
You're not gonna go get your sword?
Oh, can I go get my sword? I'll run to the room to get my sword.
I don't care. You can go get your sword.
Let's go get my sword.
Okay, so you run back to the room and you get your sword, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Are you gonna try to take a swing at this guy?
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you roll the I don't know.
Do you know how to play?
No.
Again, we don't know how to play D&D.
Okay. Why don't you roll this? Why don't you roll that one?
What is it supposed to be out of? 24 or 12?
I don't know. 12, I think. Roll that one.
11.
Okay, so you deal 11 damage to the Cloud Man.
Okay.
But the Cloud Man's gonna fight back, and he got a
11.
So nothing happens. You don't do any damage to the Cloud Man.
And the Cloud Man doesn't do any damage to me.
No. So he's gonna say, "Dude, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that I came charging after you. Do you want to be friends?"
And I say, "I'm Francis."
Okay.
Is that what I actually say?
If you want to, sure.
I said we can be friends.
Okay. So you guys head back to class together, but as you're walking back, the cloud dude's ahead of you, and you hear this whisper, and he goes, "Psst. Hey. Look over here." So you look over there. Mm-hmm. Lo and behold, Kanye.
Okay.
Kanye is out the window.
Okay.
Looking at you. And you're like, "Dude, Kanye, what are you doing out there?" And Kanye says, "I'm done. I'm done hanging out here. I hate this school, and I dropped out." Kanye is attempting to run away. The thing is, if Claudio figures out that you have run away with Kanye, then there will be some consequences. What are you gonna do?
I have to trust Kanye.
Do you have to trust Kanye?
Yeah.
The whole building is like a huge maze. There's no way to get out.
Well, can I just get out the window that Kanye whispered?
You can, but it's like a courtyard. It's like an enclosed courtyard.
Okay. So, is there like a secret passageway out somewhere? Maybe.
You want to do some digging?
Do some digging? Yeah. I guess me and Kanye roam the campus until we find a way out.
Okay, so right as you think you're about to hit ground, you see Claudio come around the corner, and he says to you, "Oh, Master Vincent, or Master Father, stretch my hands. I'm glad to see that you're enjoying the school, but why aren't you in class?" What do you say to him?
I say, I was looking for the bathroom, but could not find it, and now I am lost.
Okay, so you said you're going to try to find the bathroom?
Yeah.
He kind of eyes you and looks you over and sees you have a sword, and he says, "What is that thing? Why are you carrying that?"
He's like, I got to.
Why do you have to? Kind of dangerous. Will you find in my school?
I hate you. That's not what I say to him. That's what I say to you as a person, Trevor. But I say, you don't like ABBA's Dancing Queen? And then I play it.
He can't hear it.
You can't hear ABBA?
He's immune to it.
No, I'm not trying to make him melt or anything. I'm just trying to play ABBA's Dancing Queen.
Oh, I love this record. I simply love it.
By the way, we have a sword that has a cassette player on the top, and inside is ABBA's gold. It's inside joke.
It's not. It's not good. It's great, but it's not. You can't listen to it for long.
Yeah.
So Claudio steals your sword. He says, "Well, you won't be needing this, class." And he takes it from you.
Can I at least keep the CD part?
No, he confiscates it. It's a cassette player, you idiot.
Can I keep the cassette part?
No, he confiscates it and takes it back to his office. And he says, "Well, now back to class you go."
Okay.
And takes it to his office.
Okay.
All right, so you and Kanye are kind of stuck here, and you're going to have to find a way out.
So is that it?
In the next episode.
Okay. This was the dumbest thing we've ever done.
You said you wanted some combat.
Yeah, it was. I asked for it, but I don't like this school, and I'm waiting to meet MF Doom. Once you said a big blurry man or a big huge man, I was expecting MF Doom.
No, it was the Cloud. It was the Cloud Man.
And I was disappointed.
He might come back.
He might come back. I kind of like the Cloud Man. We're friends.
We're gonna have to see. He thinks your name's Francis.
Okay. Late Registration is Kanye's second studio album as we move further down this Kanye quest through the entire discography of Kanye West. At the time, the focal point of Kanye West's production style was the use of sped-up vocal samples from soul records. We saw this a lot on College Dropout. This is pretty much all of College Dropout's production in a nutshell. And all of his production on The Blueprint or his mixtapes, I'm Good, and Get Well Soon. So he just used the style a lot, these sped-up vocal samples. Things that remember me of it. Through the Wire is a big example of that.
That's when he had braces, right?
Yeah. But then Kanye kind of got sick of the sound because he felt like other people were using it too much. Because he basically started it, but other people started to use it because of the College Dropout being so popular, because he won Grammys with it. He kind of got sick of the style and he thought it was too overused. So Kanye embarked on a new sound for his next studio album, his second studio project.
That's kind of something that's always defined him.
It was the changing up of things. West is significantly inspired by Roseland, New York City, a 1998 live album by English trip hop group Portishead, produced with the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. This is the thing that inspired him to bring string arrangements to hip-hop, and it's some of the stuff we saw on the College Dropout, but he never really had the money to do it in full scale. And because he had a budget of $202 million for his second studio album, he thought it was a good time to bring...
I had a good time.
He thought it was a good time to, because he had the money and because he had the notoriety, that he could actually make the sound he wanted to and stop using the sound that's kind of oversaturating the market currently. So he actually suck out a collaborator, and the person he ended up going with was John Byrne, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who has worked with artists such as Fiona Apple, and he's done a ton of film composer. He's done a ton of film scores. He was a film score composer for films like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Paranorman, and Lady Bird.
I love Paranorman.
Kanye found out about him through his work with Fiona Apple and his work on the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind soundtrack, which actually has a lot of good music to it. I just like the soundtrack to that song. And on Late Registration, John Byrne serves as producer, brass arrangement, and string arrangement. So late registration is essentially late orchestration. So basically Kanye seeking out this new sound for his second studio album because he has money and he can do it now. So this album is supported by 5 singles. This second studio album. Diamonds from Sierra Leone, which is the first. Gold Digger, Heard Him Say, Touch the Sky, and Drive Slow. Another great collection of singles of just...
That's a really solid collection of singles.
Solid line out of singles, again, from Kanye. And it was supported by 6 music videos. Diamonds from Sierra Leone, which I recommend watching because at one point Kanye plays 2 pianos at once and it's the dumbest fucking looking thing.
Dude, he's a multi-talented individual.
It looks so stupid. Gold Digger, Heard Him Say, which actually has 2 versions. I recommend the second one with Bill Plimpton, legendary independent animator. Bill Plimpton actually works with Kanye West to craft a music video on the second version. I reckon the original version too, because that's like a good Christmas music video. I don't know.
It's a feel-good...
It's just like...
Christmas story.
I think it's because it takes place in the Macy's mall, or the Macy's store in New York City. That's why it probably reminds me of a Christmas movie. I don't know. But also, I recommend watching Touch the Sky because it's just completely stupid. Kanye thinks he's Evil Knievel, calls himself Evil Knievel.
It's great. He got sued for that. Actually, the boy, Alex Marco, just posted in our chat that music video is forever burned into his memory.
I wrote down in my notes, Kanye's goatee and sideburns. Oh my.
I remember when I was younger, this was the first music video for Kanye I had ever heard. I think it was my first like Kanye song I ever, one of the first Kanye songs I ever heard. Definitely the first music video, and like, wow, that really got me into his music. My mom and dad and pretty much any adult in my life would always talk about him and say like, he's so rude, he's so this, he's so that. You know, rap music is so garbage, but then like I heard that and I was hooked.
I recommend again watching that because I think it's just stupid. Pamela Anderson's in the middle. That's her name, Pamela Anderson, right? Chick from Baywatch.
Yep.
And I don't know, it's really stupid. It's just a stupid, dumb music video. It's fun as hell. And then Drive Slow, which is just a very simplistic, nice song, very just smooth. That's why I like it. Just very, very nice. Music video is very simplistic, just a bunch of Las Vegas lights or Las Vegas lights. I don't know. It's just nice. Okay, so what does this new second studio album bring us? Brings us more D. Ray Davis, who's the guy that did pretty much all the skits on the last album besides the new workout plan. He comes back. The album starts off with Wake Up Mr. West.
Starting Bernie Mac.
Yeah, where D. Ray Davis continues like impersonating Bernie Mac. D. Ray Davis essentially follows up for when the intro from the last album kind of left off with Kanye not graduating and kind of being in the slump. And he says, "Wake up, Mr. West! Wake up, Mr. West!" I think, and that perfectly...
I loved you better than your own kidney.
That's not this album.
I know, but that sample was still used like later on.
But DJ Ray Davis on the skits on this are fucking hilarious. I don't think they're as... Like, the intro is obviously better than... I think the intros to this Late Registration is my favorite out of all of them because I think it just emotionally has some impact and it sets up Heard Him Say just so well. But I think overall the skits on College Dropout are better. The ones on here are good and they're fine, but I just think there are too many of them on this. Just too much of the same because we get this Broke Five Broke segment where it's just like this fraternity of just these broke ass motherfuckers who are just super stingy and don't have any money.
It's a little close to home.
We have a friend named Philip and we hate him. We're just gonna leave it at that. But it's just that I think that goes on for a little too long than it needs to. It's like 4 skits. Should be like 2 at most. I think it just goes on for way too long. But I think they're still fun. I just think it lasts for longer than it needs to. But I do like the skits on this, and I think it kind of cones in that goofier side of Kanye that we got in College Dropout. Overall, I think this project is it's just a good follow-up to the College Dropout. It's changing up your style, but still having elements of that style. Like, Kanye's humor still shows up. The political side of Kanye from some tracks on College Dropout shows up. like we still get Kanye, but we get Kanye in a different sound that like evolves the previous sound, but with a larger budget. And I think that's how sequels should. If you have a larger budget, you should use it.
For sure.
Tracks that I enjoy on this project. Heard 'Em Say. Heard 'Em Say is why I think Kanye is such a great artist, because he's able to take Adam Levine of Maroon 5 fame, an artist I do not care for whatsoever.
He's not. I don't really like Maroon 5.
It's just like utterly, in all honest, trash artist who just never really makes music I want to hear. And he's able to take them and turn them into an instrument in a sense. Because he's just on the hook, but Kanye's able to use them for his benefit. He's like another instrument to Kanye. He's just another piece of the puzzle. He just does the hook, but that pop style, Kanye just has that ear for good pop music. And he's able to take... You could say this has been applicable to the rest of Kanye's career. Homecoming with Chris Martin of I was gonna say Radiohead, Coldplay. Not a huge Coldplay fan, but he makes that work really well. Post Malone on Fade. We don't care for Post Malone, whatever, but he uses them in the right way. Like, he's able to take these, like, artists that are not really good on their own and, like, apply them to his formula to make a really fun, poppy track. And that shows throughout Kanye's career, but it works so effortlessly here. And it's so nice, and I think it uses Adam Levine's voice, his, like, naturally talented voice, to actually say something emotionally charging. And it's nice. It's fun, it's poppy, has emotion to it. I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite tracks on this album. Kanye comes through just with hella great bars, more sadder, more emotional than we saw him on College Dropout. It's just nice. Follow that up with Touch the Sky, one of Kanye's best tracks he ever made, with Lupe Fiasco. Jesus, this track is just amazing. And, like, this is what, like, this album needed to be. It needed these horns, it needed the strings, it needed to be something really grand, and Touch the Sky is something very grand. It is Kanye's humor, all the fun you loved about College Dropout, but just on a larger scale, on a larger budget. And that's what I love about it so much. Lupe Fiasco fits in so effortlessly into Kanye. Kyle, super duper Kyle. They flow so well into each other. Like, and then you get into, like, do you have anything else you want to say about Touch the Sky? Because I know you love that track.
I just absolutely love this track. It's so catchy and it's so fun. It's just, I mean, I think Alex Marco summed it up the best. Like, I think this song is just burned in the memories of any Kanye fan. Just anywhere. It's so fun. I even know, like, I can play that on my trumpet. Like, that's so much fun to play. It's so much fun to listen to. It's just like a good, fun hype track, I would even say. It was like a hype track before, like, modern trap music really defined, like, what a hype track is now. Like, it's very brassy, really catchy lyrics, really fun wordplay, and a great music video to just companion piece to go with that.
If we had to pick tracks from each album, like, I think College Dropout had Jesus Walks. I think his mixtapes had Through the Wire. This one right here, Touch the Sky, is the one I'm pulling from Late Registration.
For sure.
Because, like, that's the one you need to pull. It's the best single. It's the best song on the album. Are you removing hairs from me? Thank you. That's what true friends are
You're
for.
You're welcome.
But yeah, it's great. You get into some other tracks on here that are great. Crack music with the game. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Like, it has, like, elements of a sample, but it's on a much larger scale as well. I think it's really nice. Roses, just deeply...
With Andre 3000 and Big Boy.
It's strange that they just...
So great. They just straight up stole the track and put it on here.
Yeah. But it's nice that we get this, like, deep-hearted, emotional story from Kanye about his grandmother dying, placed on the album. It's just beautiful. Bring Me Down with Brandy, and then We Major, which is just excellent moment on this album. Again, just this larger scale that Kanye is able to pull from with this instrumentation through these strings, through this brass section. Personal favorites off this album, Hey Mama. and Celebration.
I already know.
Hey Mama is just like, it's such a feel-good track. Just like Kanye thanking his mom, loving his mom. Like, I think we need more of that. We need more people loving their moms in hip-hop. Like,
he's not afraid to show it
like,
either.
this came out in 2005, and like we know Kanye loves his mom and loved his mom. Rest in peace, Donda West. But it's just like, I think we need that more positivity in hip hop. I'm just I love you, Mom. I just think it's super sweet.
I love you, Remy Ma.
Love you, Remy Ma.
Rest in peace, Remy Ma.
And then I'll say this here. Celebration is the most fucking underrated Kanye track, and I will hold that to my fucking grave. I do not care. Celebration, not a single, not a track that had a music video for it. It is the most underappreciated Kanye track ever. I will say it before, and I said it again. I will say it forever.
It's Silver Surfer Intermission.
Fucking hate you. It is the most underrated track. Just because it's just so easy to listen to, so catchy. Kanye's vocals on it, his singing's nice, his rap bars are really fun. He's just in a good mood. It's just a nice, positive Kanye, happy about his life, thinking about what he's gonna do with his life eventually if he has a son. Just like these nice moments, and he's just happy. He's having a celebration. Celebrate good times. Oh yeah. Or knows it all night. But yeah, it's just like a very catchy track, and I think it's one of his catchiest tracks, but I don't think it's really appreciated as one. And I don't know, I feel like this track needs more love, and I think it's his most underappreciation. And I think Gone with Consequence and Cameron or Commode or Cameron.
What else was he on?
He was on,
he did something like just recently.
He did, I don't know. I don't know much about him.
Was he on Everything Is Recorded?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. He's definitely not on that. I think you're getting confused.
He feuded with Kanye later on. Okay.
That's funny. I think everyone feuded with Kanye later on. Everyone wants to fight Kanye.
Let's fight him.
Let's not fight Kanye, because
let's
that's scary. You just say, let's do it? You just not acknowledge what I said?
Let's do it.
No, it's not. I don't want to. I like Kanye. Kanye seems like a nice guy. He has 3 kids. He doesn't need your shit. Wait, did he feud with like everyone? Is there a list of just his
Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Jim Jones,
Jim Johnson of WWE.
I love this guy,
Commode. But yeah, this album is very solid overall. There's a lot of fun moments to it. One thing I want to talk about this album is Diamonds from Sierra Leone. First of all, the Jay-Z version that's on the album, the remix, I don't think it's as good as the single version. In the track alone, it's meant to be very politically charged, but the reason Jesus Walked worked so well as like a politically charged trap, it was catchy as all hell. Not to say this isn't catchy as hell, because it still is, but it was on a topic that Kanye can personally talk about. Like, Kanye faced issues on race and religion, but Kanye really can't talk about blood diamonds as much, if that makes sense, because it's like something he can talk about, but it's not like a certain topic he can talk about at the same time giving us his wit, his goofy humor, his just like dumb personality that we've grown to love. It's like it's a weird gray area that it's kind of hard to talk about.
Well, he's not directly involved with the blood diamond like trade and mining, so like it's difficult to talk about something that you don't really have a ton of experience with. It's always been like one of my least favorite Kanye tracks. Through this, I appreciate the track. I think the production's really good. I like how it samples. Is that the James Bond song it samples? From one of the James Bond things? Diamonds are forever. Yeah. Besides that one thing, I think this album is a grander version of
the College Dropout. But in the end, is it as good? No, because I think the College Dropout had a lot better moments. Moments that I enjoy more. I think I enjoy Through the Wire a lot more than I do enjoy Heard Them Say, or I enjoy Jesus Walks more than Diamonds Are Forever. I enjoy slow jams more than what is it? I'm gonna think of it in a second.
Fast jams.
Yeah, fast jams. I enjoy slow jams more than I do Drive Slow. Like, I don't know. I think both these projects are good, don't get me wrong, but College Dropout's the better of two. I just like the sample style. I like how Kanye follows up with a more grander production because he does have more money. He does have more notoriety, so he can do it. And why not do it? And it makes sense.
Sure.
But I think in the end, it just isn't as good. It's not bad. It's still like a great project, but it's just not as good in comparison. I think that's where it just tumbles down to. And College Dropout was his first. Like, it was his big release. It was his coming out party. Not that coming out party, but it was his, it was just his, like, I don't know. It was just his first studio album, whereas this is not, like, it doesn't have the huge, like, sting of that, and it doesn't have as punchier tracks, but they're still fantastic, but they're just not as poignant as previous work. I think current ranking, and you can disagree with me, but College Dropout, Late Registration, I'm good. Get well soon. Currently, that's how it is. Out of the current Kanye albums on this path, those are the ones I think. That's how I think it lays out.
I would have to agree with that for sure. I just think it's more. I think Heart and Soul was still put into Late Registration, but I still think that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
All the time spent on the mixtapes, all the time perfecting. You can see it. All the time perfecting Through the Wire.
It took him
as one single track. 3 years to produce one album,
and then he took a year to make Late Registration.
Yeah, he had a basis for sure, and there's no problem with that.
Yeah,
but because I still think that Late Registration is a good album.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's a great album.
Yeah,
but like I can't help but get over I can't get over just how much I enjoyed the College Dropout.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week's episode of the Kanye Quest. We'll be back next week with Can't Tell Me Nothing, Kanye's final mixtape that is the build-up to Graduation, and it has a lot of stuff I've actually not listened to. There's still some, like, other people's music on there, but it's, like, original to the project. Like, there's a Big Sean track on there where he literally sounds like Lupe Fiasco.
It is Lupe Fiasco. Last night took an L, but tonight I release a new mixtape.
Last night took an L, but tonight I sound like Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco took an L, but tonight I bounced back.
Okay, so earlier during the show, ardent follower Samuel asked us if we were doing any
the other boys are back in town.
They're actually on the chat right now.
Yeah, are they fighting?
No, we all friends.
We're having a good time. Do you want me to roll the dice so they can see who can win?
Samuel Foot asked if we were going to do any Kanye brackets.
There's Kanye brackets and there's Death Grips brackets.
He asked about Death Grips brackets too, but I won't be filling out a Death Grips bracket.
Dude, listen to all Death Grips this weekend, and then we'll...
I mean, I would be willing to fill out another one. I've seen, like, Kendrick brackets. I've seen other things.
Okay, is there an MF Doom bracket? If not, we're creating one.
I don't think there is. Okay, but, for next week, we're going to be doing Kanye brackets. Each of us will do our own. And it would be great if you guys want to follow along, post your pictures of your brackets.
How about instead of us making our own, do you just want to do one live on air? Fill one out together? Because I think that would work out better.
You think? Mm-hmm. We're going to disagree.
That's the point. It's all discussion based.
Well, we should do our own.
No. It would be too long if we did our own. It would be too messy. I think if we just did one and debated it as a group, I think it would come out pretty nicely.
Okay, well, we're just going to do our own individually, post our pictures, and then on air we're going to do one together and see what we come up with. Okay, so Okay, so I'm also getting a request for a Despicable Me trilogy original soundtrack bracket.
It's just happy.
No, the third one.
Oh, just the third one? What was the music for the third one? Trey Parker wanking it for 2 hours?
We're gonna fill out one of those too.
Is that a thing? Please tell me that's a thing.
Samuel, we're gonna make a Despicable Me bracket and we're gonna fill it out.
Okay, look up
just for you.
Look up what's on the Despicable Me soundtrack. I'm curious. If it's not Trey, which one was in Despicable Me 3? Was it Trey Parker or Mert Stone?
I don't know.
You watched it. You should.
No, I didn't.
You watched Boss Baby. That's about the fucking
Boss
same.
Baby was good. Shut your dirty mouth. Aha's Take on Me, Michael Jackson's Bad. There's a lot of Pharrell on here.
Hug Me? Isn't that the song they did for SpongeBob?
No.
What was the song they did for SpongeBob?
Squeeze Me.
Oh.
That's a good song. There's a lot of Pharrell. 99 Red Balloons, like the German version. Into the Groove by Madonna.
Anything that wins.
Literally, okay, Pharrell is just going to win.
Regardless.
Pharrell is going to win either way.
Dude, why is Lemon not on there? Oh my gosh. Okay.
We're gonna fill it out for you guys. But in the meantime, Kanye brackets for next week. Post your pictures. We'll come up with some sort of thread or something on the Facebook page. Because I want to see what you guys come up with too. So,
is there any other brackets out there?
There are some other. We might fill out some other ones.
I'm curious what other brackets there are. I know there's a Death Grips one.
Speaking of Pharrell, what did you think of the Lemon remix?
It's bad. It's just like it's just a regular version of Lemon. I'm talking about the Lemon remix with Drake, but Drake just like non-existent on the track. He's just like, it's just like they got him into the studio.
Every once in a while, I'll go, yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, Drake's there.
Yeah.
He's rapping. Okay,
he's still there.
But like, I'm kind of apathetic to Drake at this point.
He's not my favorite.
I think God's Dead is a kind of mid track. That's what it's called. It's God's Plan.
King's Dead.
King's Dead. La-di-da-di-da. Slop on my
Trey. Yeah.
Slop on my. I'm gonna hand you $200. Just run away with it. Have you seen the meme where they play the God's Plan music video in reverse and the title's God's Plan, but Drake is stealing everything? It's really funny because he just takes everything away.
My favorite was Future's feature from King's Dead over that Friends episode.
I love memes. I think we moved too far in the future for them. Okay.
We're moving on to our next project.
Yeah, we have to.
Alright, so next we're going to be moving on to be talking about Bishop Nehru's new album, Elevators, Act 1 and 2.
2?
And 2.
2.
Yeah. Bishop Nehru, New York rapper, and really just best known for his collaboration work with the great MF Doom back in 2014. This is my own CD. I love MF Doom with a burning passion.
You didn't need to bring up that was your CD.
It's mine. I just pretty much everything else is Vincent's, but that one's mine. The Nathaniel Rateliff CD was also mine. Maybe some other time I'll bring in some other stuff that is mine. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Bishop Nehru's been kind of out there for a while. He's only 21, but yeah, seriously, this was made in 2014. He was like 17?
Jesus. That's a little pump age territory, which I'm not willing to accept.
Listen to what he made versus.
Honestly, I like Little Pump more than Nehru.
Back up, buddy.
I'm gonna get flack for that, but it's true. I don't really care for Nehru and Doom that much.
I liked it personally, but it was kind of an eye-opener because Doom wasn't really on it that much. He took a really backseat production role on Nehruvian Doom.
I think it's just because MF Doom was too busy playing EA Sports NBA Live the entire time.
I think so. I truly think so.
He's like, Nehru, he's like, oh, you make these beats, that's nice. You want to get on them? He's just playing there. He's just like, What? Too busy playing EA Sports NBA What is that? Wait, was Neruvian Doom on EA Sports?
No, Neru's single "You Stressin'" was on EA Sports' NBA Live in 2015. I don't know why.
That's random.
But yeah.
I love having the Wikipedia up so we can just learn random facts.
It's great. I love it. It's great. But yeah, Elevators Act 1 and 2 is it's a solo project from Bishop Nehru, but kind of what drew us in, not only because of name recognition, and personally I liked Neruvian Doom.
The fact that it was a studio album, not a mixtape, because he dropped a mixtape back in December called, I think it's called Emperor Neru's New Groove or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not joking, that's the actual fucking title.
That's seriously what it's called.
But that was... I didn't listen to it. I was going to at some point, but I didn't hear anything about it, so like I just kind of stood away from it. And it was at the period where we were like doing lists and shit, so I didn't really have time to. But with this, I was interested because it was a studio project, had Kaytranada and MF Doom. It was 2 parts, the first part being produced by Kaytranada, second part produced by MF Doom. They call him MF Doom on this project. I don't know if to call him just Doom, which I found weird.
But yeah, all production was done by those two with Nehru over it. There's only one feature, but the rest of it was taken away by Nehru. And I honestly have to say that this album turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
I had big expectation going into this because you look at the production. Kaytranada, obviously 99.9% was one of my favorite albums of 2015. Or 2016, sorry. I just love the production on that record. I love the features. I loved his work with Vic Mensa, Anderson .Paak, and Sid. I don't know. I just thought it flowed. And Bad Bad Not Good. Can't forget them. Yeah, Boiz. I just like that project a lot. I like Kaytranada's just production style. I think it flows really well, especially with other people rapping over it. I think it's excellent. MF Doom, one of our favorites of all time, hands down. I was just expecting interesting production from him. The traditional Doom sound, just a bunch of samples, very jazzy in a sense, but just that Doom flair. I almost kind of wanted to be the first half be super synthesized because that's what Kaytranada does best, and the second side be almost natural because that's what Doom works best in, almost kind of grimy, kind of dark. And we didn't get that on this project. I kind of wish there was, like, I didn't know Kaytranada and MF Doom produced on it, because I don't think the production on this is bad. I like the production on this, but I do not like it when I have to compare it to other Kaytranada and other MF Doom projects, because I just don't think it holds up. Not even close. Like, I think it's good, but, like, you compare this to Kaytranada's solo work, you pair this with Doom's solo work, like, it's not even, like, in the ballpark. Like, Food, not even close to this. Like, this is... not even there. I think, or I wish I didn't know who the producers were. I like the production again, but like I wish I didn't have to make that comparison. I feel like it's almost bad to make that comparison because it's such a weird way to review this record. Overall, I do enjoy this project. Main complaints though, production isn't as good as the producer's previous work, Kaytranada's previous work, and Doom's previous work. Bishop Nehru, overall, as a rapper, he's talented, but he isn't the most, original artist out there.
No, I don't think he's, like, breaking down any barriers or anything, but I think, for his age, especially, and...
being 12.
Yeah, he's only, like, 10 years old on this album.
Dude.
But, no, I mean, I still really enjoyed it.
No, yeah.
I think he's got some, like, really creative bars and a lot of, like, fun wordplay, and I can definitely see why artists like Kaytranada or Doom would want to work with him, because I think that Nehru has a lot of potential. This is probably my favorite project of his that I've heard so far, and I think that really he can only go up from here, especially if he's got legendary producers like that on his side. You know?
Like, I like this... I don't know, I'm pointing to this. I like, Elevators Act 1 2 more than Neruvian Doom by far. I just think Neruvian Doom just didn't do it for me, but I think that's because Doom's name was so attached. He's on the album art. It's called Neruvian Doom. Like, you expect in that sense that Doom would be rapping on it, Whereas this sense, it's a K Tronada and MF Doom production, but it's just Bishop Naru. I wasn't expecting Doom to rap. I was only expecting him to produce. In the end, I'm kind of let down by the production, but it's also still good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. In some aspects, I almost feel like it's unfair to kind of attach that to it, because I know that you said, at least before the episode, and part of me kind of feels away too, you would have been fine with the production had you not known that the names were attached to it. I feel like that too, because I feel like I really like both of these producers, but I also feel like Naru kind of holds his own with what he was given too, and I feel like his creative freedom over the album was greater than the producers. Yeah. And in the way that I've talked about Gorillaz before, Damon Albarn kind of molds Gorillaz into what he wants it to be.
Dude, I love Albert Hammond Jr. I
love that guy. But what's good about this album? Tracks like Driftin', tracks like Get Away, Potassium, and then the best one on here, in my opinion, Rooftops, the closing track.
Just the fucking horn section.
There's really solid production on here. Some I don't think are as well produced. Tracks like No Idea is not my favorite. The Game of Life is not my favorite. Yeah. But there are there's some really interesting stuff on here. Like I said, the couple tracks that I had mentioned before that I enjoyed. I think that shows why Bishop Naru has potential here.
I like how this album's set up. I like how the first half's only K Tronada, second half's only Doom.
It's cool. It's cool to see the divide.
I wish there was more division production-wise. I wish first half was way more synthetic, second half way more raw, or just some dark light, anything. Just something like I can get a difference production-wise, but like I feels like they kind of like flow really well together, almost too well. I don't care for that as much. It's a cohesive project. I do like the little interlude that starts everything off. I like how they announced it's a K Tronada.
Going up the elevator.
Yeah, and I do like how
elevator going up.
Yeah, no, I like the little, just like it seems like a grand production when you walk into this lobby and you Bishop Naru talks to the elevator doorman or whatever he's called.
Not to mention the album art.
Oh, album art's
fucking really cool.
Album art's fucking amazing. It made me go on my best album art.
Oh, it's going on mine. It's really. Neruvian Doom had some cool album art too.
This
one's really cool.
Fucking cool.
This is like the stop motion. It looks like a little I Spy scene going on here.
It's dope.
It's really cool.
But yeah, I think Bishop Naru has good flow. He's witty. He's not the most unique character in all of hip-hop. And I feel like there's more to prove on. He's only 21. He has time. Like, he's going to improve as time goes on.
And he shows no signs of changing or stopping. And
this is an improvement from Neruvian Doom by far.
For sure.
Yeah, like,
not that there are good tracks. Mean the most, baby. You already know.
And, like, the production's solid on this. It's just
sure.
like, it's just not... I think it's... Honestly, I wish... Again, going back to that, I wish it was just announced as a K Tronada MF Doom production. I wish I didn't know that. I wish the producers was almost like a mystery, because I feel like it just kind of... It just kind of ruins it for you, like, because you have such high standards going into it. But, like, overall...
I think that helped him sell and get listens, too, though. Because why would you not listen to an album produced by K Tronada and
MF Doom?
On the subject of his age and talking about like improvement, we talked about Yachty like earlier in the episode, and he obviously had a huge change from his past sound. Again, I've got to give him credit for that, but I don't think it was an improvement. And I think Naru is just taking what made him taking what was good on the past albums and trashing what wasn't good and improving upon all the good stuff. And then we end up with a new project like this, and I think with his next project he'll trash what was not well received and keep going with what was, and end up with really solid tracks like Rooftops or Driftin'.
Yeah. My only complaint is I wish there was more narratively going on with these skits. With going up this elevator, I wish there was just more. I wish they were making more stops. We would see
the elevator broke at the top.
Yeah, I know, but like I need more. This project again. It's only 30 minutes. It's like 31, I think. It's like when you take out Act 1 and like Act 2 free falling. It's like it's bare minimum 30. I think it's a little too short for its own good. It needs to be expanded upon, but it's a short, easy to digest listen. Bishop Naru comes through with this with just good bars, good flow, he's witty. He's not the most unique character. Production's fine from people who are fantastic, but this is not their best material, which makes sense because look what MF Doom has coming off. He has Metal Face. Wait, is it Metal Face meets the Mask?
Metal Face meets Czarface.
Metal Face meets Czarface. That's what it's called.
He was just on Dabri's last album,
but like
Nautical Depth or whatever it was.
No, he has another project coming out with West Side Gun, West Side Doom, Kaytranada, Prey has a new project coming out this year. I think he's due for it. And I would love to hear that. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was more of their like side project, which is not a bad thing. Like again, I think the production's
just
good.
Helping a kid out.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I want to see more personality from Bishop Naru on this project. I think it'll let it slide for this one, but I think in the next one, I'm a bit more critical on that. Overall, I like this project still. I think it's good.
Oh, yeah.
It's a short, easy to digest project, and I don't know. I'm feeling 7 out of 10 on this. I like it. I'd like to continue hearing from more from Bishop Naru in the future, boyo. Keep doing what you're doing.
I think I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because I just really appreciate this guy. Just keep on going, man.
Keep on trucking.
I'm a fan. You've got a couple fans here.
You got me wild up. Who's a lame ass bitch want to talk about us? Ooh. Okay. What's next?
So finally we are going to
No, we have 2 more.
I know.
Oh, okay. Fine.
We've been talking about this album for forever.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, finally we are going to tackle David Byrne and his house he built from the ground up by himself.
No, you're wrong about that. We're going to tackle David Byrne and ask him why we were not invited to his house, but everyone else was.
I feel like a camera.
I wish I was a camera. I wish I was a postcard. That's not bad compared to what David Byrne is, his actual performance.
We've been waiting for this album for a long time. I've been waiting for it since Talking Heads broke up. David Byrne's new album, American Utopia. Let's talk to it.
Let's talk to this record.
Obviously, David Byrne was the frontman of legendary new wave band Talking Heads. I love new wave.
Very, very influential artist. Very influential band. As inspired hell of artists. Did they inspire They Might Be Giants, or were they around the same time as They Might Be Giants? I forget.
They Might Be Giants has been around since the beginning of time.
They're around the same era. They Might Be Giants. They take from the same strange, I would say.
Pretty much.
But I think Talking Heads already has Lifetime Achievement Awards, so we have to give one to They Might Be Giants.
They just have to get one.
Yeah. But David Byrne, very influential artist, frontman of Talking Heads, very zany, very yelpy performances, just strange, just the oddity, completely strange, and I don't know. I don't think there's much of an introduction we have to say past that. This new album, American Utopia, was announced earlier this year with the single Everyone's Coming Over to My House, a track that I disliked at first because I thought it was too yelpy, but as time goes on, I just love that yelpiness. I just think it's utterly brilliant. I wish I was a camera. It gets stuck in my head every day and
all the
time, and it's completely strange. It's stupid, but I like it. I think it's one of the better tracks on the album as well. I think the album follows suit with some of the tracks on here. I think when we were off camera, you said the best tracks you liked on this project are the ones that sound like Talking Heads tracks.
If you guys haven't noticed, I'm a big Talking Heads fan. I like new wave. And honestly, part of me, and I think it was a little unfair, but part of me was kind of hoping that he would kind of come through with more Talking Heads sounding tracks on American Utopia. And some of them were, and some of them weren't. Best tracks, in my opinion, I Dance Like This, Every Day's a Miracle, It's Not Dark Up Here, and then, of course, Everybody's Coming to My House, I think are the most, like, new wave kind of sounding tracks. Now, obviously, David Byrne doesn't have to fit into a rut.
No.
This is his first solo album since 2004. The last couple projects he's released have been with other artists. Brian Eno, Norman Cook, St. Vincent in 2012.
Oh, he did a project with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
How would you feel if I was actually St. Vincent?
Didn't you win an Oscar or something for best animated feature?
That's Loving Vincent.
No,
actually,
that was Boss Baby.
Fuck you. But yeah, I like the tracks. I think my biggest problem with this is there's just tracks I think are just kind of just lame overall.
Some of them were.
Yeah, like I think Gasoline and Dirty Sheets is the best example for this. Dog Minds are just two tracks I personally do not care for.
I hear you.
They're not as fun, not as yelpy, not as lyrically imaginative as Everyone's Coming to My House. They don't really serve a huge purpose to me.
I would say Here as well.
Here,
I don't really like Here, but I think that Everybody's Coming to My House would be a really cool closer.
Yeah.
And like maybe even at the end they could have like clangings of platters and things like from like a party or something that was going on, or like the door opened and that would be the end of it. But it unfortunately kind of ends with Here, and I think it's kind of lame.
Yeah, it's like a very slow ending. At the first time I listened to it, I was okay with it because it was so slow and I felt like it made a good ending. The more I listen to it, I do not personally care for that track. I like the intro, a dance like this. I just think it's a really fun, stupid start to just, like, this is what I want from David Byrne, and that's what I expected. Every Day is a Miracle just follows that suit up, which is, like, every day is a moment. Just super catchy, super fun.
All I need is a miracle.
And then It's Not Dark Up Here. I just imagine David Byrne singing from the top of the mountain.
This is like a parody of Lazarus, like David Bowie. Except for it's David Byrne, like up in like, imagine like a first grade play, and there's like clouds hanging from the ceiling, and he's sitting up in the clouds, and he's yelling down like, "It's not dark up here."
You don't know how much I want that to be true. You don't know how much I want that to be his intention of the track.
I hope it was. That's what it reminds me of.
But overall, I think my biggest problem with this album is David Byrne. Some of this, like the tracks on this project, just don't. It's kind of what I feel like Talking Heads has always kind of been, but it just doesn't age as well. Like tracks like Gasoline and Dirty Sheets and Dog's Mine and Doing the Right Thing are
Spike Jones.
Spike Lee. Get it right. They, for me personally, sound like Talking Head tracks, but I think in like when Talking Heads were at their peak, I feel like they would be fine. Oh, Sampha was on everything?
Sampha was on Everybody's Coming to My House.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know.
How did we miss that? Dude, I love Sampha. Sampha's becoming like my favorite artist. He just seems like he's your boy, you know? He just seems like he's just a guy you want to like talk to, like eat a dinner with, you know, chat. Seems like a nice dude. I'm glad he's friends with Sampha. I'm glad he's friends with David Byrne. I'm glad David Byrne's inviting him over to his house instead of us. I'm still pissed about that.
Sampha, sneak us out some order, please.
David Byrne's house. David Byrne's like popping with everyone. He's popping with Tune Yards too. Him and Tune Yards are going on tour. Yeah.
They're buddies.
Buddies. I wish they. You can obviously see the Talking Heads influence on Tune Yards. I don't know. Why
for sure.
But I think the tracks I mentioned before, they sound like Talking Heads tracks, but I think they just don't age as well because David Byrne's in this weird space because he inspired a lot of artists with his strange music, his strange performances, and now we're in an age where rock music is stranger than that. And not to say he needs to follow up with this strangeness, but it's either catchy or there's projects out there that are either catchier than this or they're stranger than this. Does that make sense? You got, starting off, you got Alex Cameron with Force Witness. Super catchy, super well written, just completely out there, but it's very just like everything just flows well together. Maybe a little too well together, but it has very catchy performances on it. You got artists like Karen J. Callanan, completely fucking stupid. That's just the dumb end of the spectrum. I personally enjoy it. It's nice pop, nice rock music, but it's completely strange. Like, David Byrne doesn't even come close. His yelpiness does not even come close to Kieran J. Callanan busting a nut at the opening track.
Into the microphone.
It's like... And then you got, like, Ariel Pink, who's just, like, a weirdo. I can't even, like, explain it fully. Like, Pom Pom's one of the weirdest listens I've ever heard in my life. Like, again, not even close to what David Byrne can be doing in The Strangest Snail. And it's way even catchier than that. Like, tracks like Black Ballerina and... You're gonna hate me for saying this, not even on Pom Pom, but on dedicated Bobby Shmurda. Time to Meet Your God. Completely strange, but super catchy. Time to Live. Just a bunch of, like, catchy tracks that are super strange and super out there. David Byrne's in this place now where he's not, it's an oddity. It's kind of come, like, almost second nature for us to hear sounds like this. But, like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Everyone's coming over to my house. Best example of that working. Gasoline and Bed Sheets. Doesn't hit for me personally. Dog's Mine. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me personally. I think there's some tracks where David Byrne just doesn't feel as excited to be making music. I think Dog's Mine is the best example for it. It's too slow, too out of place. It does sound like a Talking Heads track, but I'm not digging it personally. I think overall, this album's not bad. Like, the worst moments on this project, by far, nothing terrible. Like, I'm just kind of apathetic to them overall. But the moments that, like, excite me, Bullet, Everyone's Coming Over to My House, I just had it in my head, I Dance Like This. Just, like, they're exciting. Like, I enjoy those tracks. They're super catchy. David Byrne's yelpy voice, his strange lyrics come through, and you get a sense of his personality. He seems excited to be making the music he's making, but, like, again, you go back to Dog's Mind, it doesn't feel as poignant. Home doesn't feel as poignant. Or, no, Here, I'm sorry, not Home. They don't see it as poignant. His personality isn't going to strike through as much. They don't feel like, just, like, they don't feel as fun. Like, I feel David Byrne needs to be more energetic if he wants to continue making music. Because I feel like some tracks he's kind of letting his lyricism take hold, whereas the lyricism isn't as good as other artists. If that makes sense. His lyricism and his persona, when he's not really energetic, isn't able to save him. Because there's other artists that are able to outdo him in this weird field.
I feel like Talking Heads used to be the kind of the forefront runners of just kind of weird, or some of them at least. They were known for making, like, really out there kind of sounds, really weird music. But, you know, where they are no longer them anymore.
We're in an age of weirdos.
Pretty much, yeah. The weird has gotten weirder, and we've gotten used to that kind of thing. So if David Byrne wants to stay in the forefront of just kind of weird music, I think he needs to step it up.
He needs to take off all his clothes and bathe himself in oil.
Yes.
And then, like, trot out through the streets with his dick blowing in the wind. That's what he needs to do.
Yes. So you hear that, David?
Don't do that. Don't. I'm begging you.
You get your naked Scottish self out there.
You may ask yourself, how did
I get here?
My naked dick blowed into the wind.
Where are my clothes?
Overall, I do like this project. There's, again, tracks like Here and Dog's Mind and Gasoline and Dirty Sheets. Don't do it for me personally. But love moments like I Dance Like This. Every Day is a Miracle. Bullet. It's Not Dark Up Here. And Here, I think. And not Here. Everyone's Coming Over to My House. Are just very fun. I enjoy them. And those were the tracks I will continue to listen to. Overall, I think I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I do enjoy it. It could be better, though. I think, like, I expect more out of David. I think David can do better in the future. He just needs to either get in touch. He just needs to get more passionate about his music.
Yeah. Okay.
Get in touch with what made Talking Heads so good back in the 70s, 80s. but do it on a scale of 2018. It's 2018 now.
Yeah.
I know my years.
Definitely I think you should explore some more of those topics.
Okay.
Overall, I liked it, but being a Talking Heads fan, I can't help but feeling a little bit let down. I think I'm going to have to give it a 6.5.
Okay.
Here comes the fun stuff.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to read this. Let's just get it over with.
Here comes the fun stuff.
Should I set a timer again?
Last project we're going to review here is Logic's new project, Bobby Tarantino 2.
Is his second mixtape in this Bobby Tarantino series he's doing. Logic, Bay Rap? He's a Bay Rapper, right?
He was born in Maryland. Now he's...
Oh, yeah.
He's a Bay Rapper.
I get the two
Me
confused.
too. He lives in California now. Basically, coming off of the success of Everyone, his last studio album, this is his second Bobby Tarantino mixtape. Kicks off with a Rick and Morty sketch. Let me just preface this by saying Logic is just not a likable guy.
Oh no,
Logic he's obnoxious. He's annoying in the way he
reminds me of like
himself.
half the people we went to high school with. Just these guys that would like bloat themselves up. They think they're really cool. They're like, oh guys, look at me. Just like these nerds that think they were like tough shit, but in reality, they're just nerds.
I almost feel like he uses his nerdiness to try to gain a new.
Yeah.
Logic wants to fit. Here's the mainstream rap crowd here, okay? Here's the independent rap crowd over here. Somewhere along here is like nerdcore over here, probably down here. Here's Logic. Here's where he wants to be. Here's somewhere he could be. Here's where he is. And there's just kind of weird space in between. So he's trying to make his way over to this way. Kind of trying to use his like nerdiness as a way to gain new fans. Trying to use his lyrical, like technical ability to kind of gain new fans. But like, in all honesty, it's just not working. Nothing he does is working. And anytime he takes a step in the correct direction, he could have just does something stupid. Like saying like, yo, I'm half black, so you guys should respect me.
Just like...
Which, like, he might be half black, but to go around and, like, brag about it and, like, tell everybody, like...
It's just... It becomes a point where it's a lyrical device. He uses it as a lyrical device. Oh, I'm half black. Oh, that's the concept of this album, is that I'm half black. Oh, you want to hear about every track, how I'm half black. Is it emotional? Like, something like... Crow Looked at Me, where it's, like, personal, very personal, and you need to talk about it? No. Not really. You can make bigger statements about race, but he doesn't. He only talks about how he's half black.
And here's where it comes. Logic's probably never faced any discrimination in his life. Here's where it kind of comes in. Problems for me. The Rick and Morty sketch at the very beginning of Bobby Tarantino 2. Rick and Morty I used to like, and it's quickly become something I dislike, mostly because of the Vindicators episode and the rest of the episodes of season 3. And who showed up in the Vindicators episode? The worst episode of the series? Logic.
And who showed
Investigate 311. But
can we talk about my theory about this album? How it's just gonna continue to like age horribly. So it was announced today that the future Rick and Morty is kind of up in the air at this point, and they may not get a 4th season, and it may be canceled. So if that happens, that segment's already aged horribly. It was announced last week that Logic's breaking up with his wife. So there's a couple lines on this album where he's like, I'm already taken. So that's already aged horribly. It's been 2 weeks. This album's been out for, a week and a half or something like that. It's already aged bad. I can't wait to see it after a year, where Logic's lost all of his limbs. And, is now fully black.
Anybody that featured on this album will die in the next month.
Okay, who's on this album? Big Sean. Okay, I think I'll be willing to accept that. Who else?
2 Chainz.
2 Chainz. Okay, never mind.
Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa. I'll let the gods take him. Him and Big Sean. I'll let the gods take. 2 Chainz is he's too good.
But in all honesty, a lot of these kind of things came to light with me in the Rick and Morty sketch at the beginning, where Rick was talking about, do you want to listen to album Logic or mixtape Logic? Like, there's a difference. But in reality, it means that Logic, when he wants to just kind of like mess around and be a tough guy or whatever, he makes a mixtape. And when he wants to make up some sort of superficial message and try really hard to write about things that don't really matter, or try to write about that. Like, I think that his 1-800 song,
which is we gave him the most overrated of the year.
Yeah, I think it had a good message overall, but I also felt very forced and very like spoon-fed, just shoved down my throat.
Just very like easy touch. Just like barely touches the subject. That's what we talked about.
And then he was like, look at me. I'm dealing with an important subject.
Ooh, look at me. I have depression.
But it didn't make him very. We have 5 seconds left on this. It's not gonna work. That's just kind of the way it happened.
Oh shit! The alarm's going off.
Sorry, Logic.
0
just a lot of that stuff kind of came to light. Like, Logic is just a fake dude. He's so fake.
I'm sick of these.
He's trying to cater. He's just trying to cater to everybody and anyone he can to get him into the mainstream rap world. Whether it has to be like showing his like nerdier side, like, I don't know, what do you do? Start a gaming channel?
Yeah.
He's on Rick and Morty. He's like forcing his way into like different sets of media, different like TV shows, but as well as like having relevant features like Wiz Khalifa.
Why is Wiz Khalifa still a thing in 2018? Why? Why is he still like making music? Like, what's so edgy about him? He smokes weed that's legal in like most states now.
That's something that like Logic said at the end of that track. Like, that made me so mad. It was like, if you ever realize, I smoke weed, and that's the end of the track. I was like, oh my god.
What are you, like a 3rd grader? Like, is that what you find edgy? Like,
oh my lord.
Is it like, what are you gonna tell me?
Logic, you're gonna have to do some heroin if you want to be on my radar. Overall, I just thought Bobby Tarantino 2 was like...
It was just annoying.
It was annoying. It was a huge letdown. It was like overly edgy, like even edgier than Lou the Human, edgier than King Cruel. I couldn't get with it. Are there good tracks? There's some decent ones. I think Warm 'Em Up is a decent track. I think that Yuck has some really cool, interesting production. And while I think that Logic's technical ability is somewhat impressive, it's not enough to tote that around and say like, okay, so like Rap God by Eminem was really impressive for a while because of just how fast Eminem could deliver these bars. But, the production was okay. But, like, has that song held up? Not particularly well. What Eminem songs do you know? Like, the ones that, the ones that actually hold up. The ones that are actually of quality after...
In your head.
Yeah. Yeah. The ones that hold up, like, after the time.
That's my favorite. In your head?
I hate you.
In your head!
I don't even like the Cranberries.
The Revival is such a good album.
There's okay... I mean, there are, like, 2 okay tracks on this mixtape, but after that, nothing else. It's aging horribly. It's just not a fun listen. This album took me 3 days to digest. 3 days to make it through this without just turning it off and saying, like, this is awful, and having to start something completely new. That is just how much I dislike this album. Mixtape. Even the tracks that I thought were decent, I will probably never return to.
I just think Logic's annoying at this point, and his next album's supposedly supposed to be his last, and maybe that's a good thing.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, he's done. He said at the end of Everybody, or like inside the album art or some shit. He said his next album might be his last, or it's going to be his last.
Well,
which might be a good thing.
That's okay with me, I guess.
I think this is just kind of rushed. It's not terrible. But like, I think Logic's personality is terrible. His character's terrible. There's just nothing that I vibe with on this project. It seems a lot like G-Eazy or like a Big Sean project. But I'd rather listen to those 2 artists more, maybe. And the track that Big Sean's on, Big Sean, Learn How to Rap. Like, I mention this every time you show up. Like, you gotta learn at some point. Like, can't you just learn? Like, you just forget how to rap. That's one of my least favorite tracks. And overall, this album just loses me at several points. It's not aging that well. and it's only been a week. Like, Rick and Morty might be canceled. Him and his wife are getting a divorce. Logic just seems like it's just a stuck-up bitch.
I think he's giving up.
It's just like, do I wish the best for this guy? Of course.
Sure.
But
we always do. I hope he doesn't, like, die or anything
like that. But, like, there's just nothing for me on this project. The only people I can see this object appealing to are, like, white teenagers. That's it. Like, I don't.
That's true.
That's like the market for anyone liking this album is just white teenagers. That's it. Like, that's who this album's for, and no one else. Like, this is not music for you and me. This is music for, like, high schoolers who think this is, like, super edgy. Who think smoking weed is super edgy. And that's it. Overall, like, I just don't know what to justify this score, because I just personally do not care for Logic as an individual in this project. I would give it the same score as Little Boat, but I think Little Boat actually tries more, so I'm gonna go, like...
I think Little Boat's better.
It definitely
I'm
is.
going by what we gave kind of other albums. Man of the Woods got a 2.5. Camila Cabello got a 3. Kraus got a 3.
In all honesty...
I think I'm gonna have to give it a...
I'm gonna give it a 3.
I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I think that's a 3 out of 10. I think that's what it feels like to me personally. I do not care for this project. Logic needs to step up his fucking game, and maybe it's a good thing. His next project's gonna be his last, because I don't fuck with this. Okay, are you done?
I'm done.
We were supposed to do that in 5 minutes, but it took us way longer. What's next week?
Next week we're going to be covering 4 different projects. We're going to check out the new Flower Truck album, Enough for Now. Jack White's new project, Boarding House Reach. We'll see how that is after his singles. Preoccupations, new album, New Material. And then Lana Del
Rey.
I say Lana.
I thought it was Lana, because it's Lana Del Rey.
I say Lana Del Rey. Whatever. Lana Del Rey's new album, Shadow World. And of course, we're going to continue the Kanye quest, as we've said, with Kanye's third and last mixtape, Can't Tell Me Nothing. Ha ha.
You can't tell me nothing.
In the meantime, make sure you... What?
Oh, we got a question? Anything else?
Oh, we're going to review the new Boiz album. Yes, Alex Marco.
That's not out until, like, 30th.
It's not until later. Week after this next week we're going to. When it comes out, that's the same week as new Quelly Chris, Jean Grey, new Doom and Czarface. I cannot wait for that week.
That's gonna be...
Cannot wait.
You don't know how hyped I am for that week.
I'm so ready. I'm counting down.
I actually, in all honesty, I did not like the Quelly Chris, Jean Grey track.
You didn't like Zero?
It was too much Jean Grey.
I liked it.
It was just like, it's just so stylistically different from what the other tracks were.
I'm like seriously ready for this.
I'm ready for that album.
I'm so excited.
My body is ready for that album.
Until next time, everybody, make sure you like our Facebook page. We seem to be getting a bigger following on there if you want to be part of the movement.
You want to be part of the movement. You want to rebel against society. If you want to go punch Logic in the face, but still wish the best for him. Just like this album, I think
we're a couple of nice guys
who punch people in the face randomly.
But you can like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play Music, iTunes, and Spotify. If you want to submit a question for next week's episode, there's a link in the description if you're listening on YouTube or Facebook. And if you want to
submit a question, you can just
please,
YouTube description, tweet us.
You guys have been kind of messaging us in our live stream chat, and we can answer things on there too, or I can answer things on there. I guess I'm kind of doing that. Also, Kanye brackets, get them in. I want to see what you guys are doing. I'm seriously, I want to see what kind of stuff you guys have over the next week. Submit your brackets. I'm curious. I really am, and we'll talk about them on the next live stream in the next episode. If you like our theme song, it's produced by our big friend
Quelly Chris,
DJ Quez. Our intro song is called No Sleep. Our outro song is called Reply. Links to the songs in the description of YouTube and Facebook. And this has been episode 31 of the Anthony and Todd Show, an episode we would like to call...
What is it called? Oh, why is David Byrne always singing about Helms?
houses.
Oh, I saw homes. I'm sorry. I have dyslexia.
Big homes. That's okay.
But until next time, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for chatting with us. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.